When you arrive in British Forces Cyprus, you'll be joining a tri-service command, where all three services and both local and British civilians work together. Most personnel work and live in the two sovereign base areas, or SBAs, which are British sovereign territory and administered by a senior British military officer. This post, which alternates between the Army and the RAF, is both Commander of British Forces Cyprus and the administrator of the sovereign territories. Some 2,000 miles from the UK, Cyprus lies at the far eastern end of the Mediterranean, with Israel to the southeast, Turkey to the north, and Egypt to the south. The Venetians, the Turks, and the British have all occupied the island at one stage or another, and all have left their legacies. In 1960, Britain granted independence to the Republic of Cyprus, but under the Treaty of Establishment, we retained the two SBAs. The treaty requires us to ensure that no one is disadvantaged by or discriminated against for either living or working in the SBAs. The Turkish invasion of Cyprus in 1974 resulted in the Turks occupying almost 40% of the northern parts of the island. United Nations peacekeepers based at Nicosia, the island's capital, constantly monitor the boundary, or Green Line as it's known. The UN troops from several countries, including the United Kingdom, continue to maintain peace between the opposing factions. Cyprus is an excellent staging post and offers a base from which to react in the event of a rapid response being necessary in the Middle East. Cyprus also provides a base for vital strategic communications facilities. As a British dependent territory, whose population includes some 7,500 Cypriots, the SBAs have their own government, which is run by the administrator, and it includes its own civilian police and custom forces, and subsequently has its own laws, courts, and civil prison. In all, there are about 3,500 British service and civilian personnel on Cyprus. With dependents, this figure approaches around 8,000 people. The locals play an important part in the fabric of the bases, and approximately 2,000 Greek and Turkish Cypriot civilians are employed within the SBAs. The two SBAs are 70 miles apart. In the western SBA are Akrotiri and Episkopi, and in the eastern SBA are Deukalia and Ios Nikolaios. The northern part of the eastern SBA borders the Green Line, which is the constantly patrolled buffer zone separating the north from the south. Together, the two SBAs total about 98 square miles, which is about 3% of Cyprus. Some personnel work at Mount Olympus in the Troodos Mountains, one of the so-called retained sites outside of the SBAs. Wherever possible, personnel will be accommodated at the garrison or station where they work. You'll find that much of the family's accommodation in Cyprus is old, dating from the 1950s, although there are some more modern houses. There is a planned building and refurbishment programme, but this will take a number of years to complete. The houses are functional and generally spacious, being well designed to lose heat in the summer. A small number of houses have air conditioning and all have ceiling fans. Few houses have central heating or double glazing and can therefore feel extremely cold and drafty in the winter months. There is a shortage of housing at Episkopi, and some families start their tour living in the local community in a hiring before moving into married quarters when one becomes available. Single personnel live in barrack blocks or messes. Once again, these are dated and of a relatively poor standard, although there is an island-wide refurbishment programme underway to improve conditions. Living out in the local community is an attractive option to some.
This is European. Yeah.
The national language is predominantly Greek, but Cypriots are a friendly people and most speak some English.
Lauren, thank you very much for coming in to speak to me about those issues. I think it's very important
I've put together some leaflets for you.
It can take time to adjust, and Cyprus has a strong welfare support network, with organisations such as SAFA Forces Help, Home Start, the Army Families Federation, and Airwaves that will help you settle in and can support you throughout your tour. There are thriving church communities of all denominations on the main bases, and each offer a lot more than just a service on Sundays. The Hive offices are at all locations and can provide lots of useful information and advice about living in Cyprus, including town maps, where the creche, nursery or schools are, and when clubs meet.
The information here is on the local supermarkets in the area. We've got the NAFI and Orphanidis, Chris's Cash and Carry, and the local butchers and bakers on the strip.
Bus services that go there, please.
Yeah, the travel.
There are regular bus services in the SBAs from the married quarters to the local shops and amenities, and most places have a number of shops, including NAFIs, offering a variety of produce from electrical goods to fresh vegetables. Fresh fruit is very cheap in summer, as are all salad foods, but slightly more expensive in winter. Other facilities include creches, nurseries, schools, banks, petrol stations and cinemas.
This is Give It. It's BFBS Radio 1.
From Akrotiri and Deucalion BFBS, the British Forces Broadcasting Service transmits a variety of British radio and television channels, which are a mixture of the UK's most popular satellite and terrestrial broadcasts.
They come back from a very difficult tour, as you said.
These are broadcast in both SBAs and Nicosia, and will keep you in touch with what's happening in the UK. The internet is widely available. This enables the user to send an e-bluey to friends and family overseas. Water, dry cleaning and bottled gas for cooking and heating can be delivered to your door. In addition, because local wages are comparatively less than the UK, many people opt to employ a housekeeper or nanny to help around the house. Your spouse may find it difficult to find employment. Job prospects are reduced because of obligations under the Treaty of Establishment, and those available are poorly paid in comparison to salaries in the UK. Job prospects are also limited in the Republic. Whilst this can cause initial frustration, there exist many opportunities for learning and other compensating factors. Cypriots drive on the left. However, driving standards are poor and careless driving is commonplace. The main roads running through the SBAs are maintained by the SBA administration, and whilst they're part of the national road network within the sovereign base areas, they're controlled by the vigilant SBA police. Outside of the SBAs, you're subject to Cypriot law, so be prepared and keep alert.
What you say may be put down in evidence.
The local bus service is virtually non-existent, so a car can prove to be a necessary part of living in Cyprus, as life here without one could be very restrictive. You may choose to buy a tax-exempt car from one of the reliable second-hand dealers, but caution should be exercised. Alternatively, you may decide to ship your own car out here. Most people ask their unit to arrange for a free loan car, or GIZIT, for their first couple of weeks from one of the car dealers. You're not obliged to buy from the same dealer, but obviously they hope that you will. Buying a car in Cyprus can save you money, but with the second-hand market so affordable in the UK, you should take time to consider your options. The Service Children's Education Authority runs the 6 SBA schools, taking children from nursery to A-level. The 2 secondary schools being at Episcopi and Deucalion. There's a school bus service for primary and secondary school children. Children thrive on the outdoor activities available at school and through the many extracurricular activities that are on offer.
Shepherds on the hills at night.
The secondary schools provide a range of academic and vocational options. However, it's not always possible to match the provision that's available in the UK. Parents are advised to contact the appropriate secondary schools, who are best placed to advise on the most suitable options for students. Adult education is available for those wishing to pursue academic studies, and tuition is offered on a wide range of subjects.
So how would you ask somebody, what do you want?
Εσύ, τι θέλετε?
Pa ti θέλετε formal o plural, ok? Bravo, ti θέλει.
SAC Bear, please. Hello, that's me.
The medical centres in Akrotiri, Ios Nikolaos, Episcopi and Deucalia provide medical and dental primary health care, while secondary health care is provided by the Princess Mary Hospital, which is a joint service facility located at Akrotiri. It offers most of the normal hospital services, but for major medical problems, it may be necessary to return patients to the United Kingdom. Visiting relatives or friends cannot obtain treatment from the service's medical facilities and should be advised to purchase their own medical insurance. The temperature in Cyprus between April and October rarely drops below 30 degrees centigrade, and it hardly ever rains. While this may seem ideal, it creates a severe fire risk. And in this heat, dehydration is a real problem. You need to consume up to 8 pints of water a day, more if you're involved in strenuous activity. Alcoholic drinks may feel refreshing, but they only add to the dehydrating effect of the heat, so drink plenty of soft drinks and water. Conversely, in the winter, Cyprus gets surprisingly cold, well below freezing in the Troodos Mountains. Don't forget to bring some warm clothes for the winter months. Cyprus offers excellent leisure and recreational opportunities. You will find plenty for all the family to enjoy. To the north of Limassol, you'll find Mount Olympus and the Troodos Mountains, which often stay snow-covered until late spring. A mountain training centre is based here, which has the facilities for trekking in the summer and skiing in the winter. It runs week-long courses for all, so if you've never skied before, Cyprus offers you the ideal opportunity to start. There are several organisations on the island that will help find you pets for the duration of your tour. However, with the pet passport scheme operating and more relaxed quarantine regulations, you can bring your pets on and off the island, but it is relatively expensive. If you wish to bring a pet out, you should do your research so that you know exactly what's involved and how much it will cost. Cyprus is a unique environment for personnel to work in and experience. Those who come here expecting to work hard on a beautiful island will enjoy their posting. The Middle East is a turbulent region, and personnel must always remain alert and pay considerable attention to security duties that are important. Socially too, diplomacy and courtesy are essential at all times. Generally, the locals are friendly and welcome the British as guests to their beautiful island. More information is available from your unit admin staff, from the Hive, and from the BFC website. You should also consult your line manager before you arrive.